a Heroes Welcome podcast. Hello, listeners. Welcome back for another episode of a Heroes Welcome podcast. I'm your co-host, Maria LaCare Diego, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
That's me, Liliana Balin, and we are here with an amazing therapist that I met years ago. I think we met through being helpers, right? Is that how we first met? Yeah, I think so. You see your face too, because I was like,
So I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know. So Joy and I are training emotionally focused therapy. And there's this idea that we go help as experts to help other clinicians as they're learning the model. For all of you who cannot see us because this is a podcast and you're not seeing the video, I just did quotes because a lot of times we're more nervous than they are as we're helping. But that's how we started. We have presented together as well. So she's an outstanding therapist in our community. Joy, how would you like to introduce to our audience?
Thank you for that. My name is Joy Ewing. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I own a group practice in Aurora, Colorado, and love what I do as a therapist and as a practice owner. We specialize in working with BIPOC, Black women, especially couples, Black couples, individuals, children, and families. It's 4 clinicians at the office currently. We're all Black women, and really just great dynamic here at Joy Life Counseling, just welcoming environment. And we also work with all clients. So we have a lot of clientele from all different cultural backgrounds and ethnicities, and just love getting in there and working with our diverse community here in Aurora, Colorado.
Hey.
Love
So
that.
tell us, what are we going to be discussing today?
So I wanted to talk a little bit about holistic care for BIPOC community as far as mental health goes, talking about some of the different things that we offer here at Joy Life Counseling that's maybe outside of the box, and just different ways that we support people when it does come to mental health, and just breaking that stigma of seeking mental health, especially within the Black and Brown community, when it comes to, getting help when they need that help.
I love that. I love that. And our listeners know by now we love an out of the box idea. So I would love to hear more about kind of what are you offering that you feel is out of the box, and how did you where did the drive and the passion come? Because this is not easy to do anything outside of the box.
Yeah, definitely. So I started off private practice. It was just myself and, working with clients. I think the first thing that I added was, well, EFT, but I also added EMDR, and really love that modality to work with clients, especially that are experiencing a lot of trauma and that feel stuck, in their trauma, or in, kind of negative distress within their body. And so helping them in that way. As I continued to grow as a private practice, I expanded into a group practice. And I had a whole vision written out of what I wanted to offer. And this is actually just the tip of the iceberg, but I was like, I want yoga. I want, neurofeedback. I learned about that in school, and I love that modality, and went and got certified in lens neurofeedback, and purchased equipment in lens neurofeedback to be able to offer that. And that's huge for my practice to offer that, because many therapists aren't doing it, and especially a Black therapist offering neurofeedback. So we have neurofeedback, we have a pulse energy frequency mat, we have zero gravity massage chairs. We also do groups here. So we have a grieving moms group for Black women who have lost children. We also have a Black moms support group for moms who are expecting up to age 3 with their children, and they can bring their kids with them to that moms group. And then we have another Black moms group that supports mothers with children 4 through 18. And so they come, no children. It's all just supporting self-care, building community. And all of these groups, by the way, they hang out outside of here. So
Oh,
they've
that's
like built
lovely.
like these, subgroups where they're going out and doing things. And it's just amazing to see the growth and what's happening here
Mhm.
at Joy Life Counseling. And I couldn't do it without my team. Like my team of therapists are phenomenal. I have Alicia Moody, I have Malika Paulo, and Veronica Mugi. And these therapists, I mean, they show up and they're ready to work. And, we're having team meetings and figuring out what else we can do here in the community. We've even hosted, it was a women's self-care
Yeah.
retreat here at the office where women came and we had food, we had music, we did some journaling, we did guided meditation, we did yoga, and then we just got together and just enjoyed each other and just got to know one another and hang out. And it was just self-care day, and it was for all women. So Black, white, brown, everyone came out. It was beautiful. It was just a beautiful way to bring together the community. Some were clients, some were clinicians, some were just people that heard about us in the community that came out to that. So that
Yeah.
was really cool.
That's amazing. You're doing so much in the community, but we can't just fly by. I'm sorry, you said massage chairs?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like in your
Gravity.
like
I
in
wrote
your
it down.
office.
I was like,
Yes.
gravity.
So
Oh,
yes, we
okay.
have zero gravity massage chairs, two of them in a wellness room. And so the wellness room has like an oil diffuser. It has like a little projection light thing up top. It has the little fake leaves on the wall. It's like really tranquil and like wellness centered. And then there's two massage chairs. There's eye masks. There's what
Yes.
else do we have in there? We have
I'm
everything.
sorry, Joy. I am now looking up a ticket to come
Yes,
visit
we
you.
have like these moist cloths to use, like if you just want to, be a little cooler, but it heats up. It does all a full body massage, like it hits every spot, and it's pretty amazing. I wanted to offer that because at first we wanted to have a massage therapist here, and we just didn't have enough people booking appointments. And I was like, how else can we offer a full wellness experience here at Joy Life Counseling and think outside of the box once again? And that was another way I was able to offer massages and offer that wellness. So folks will come and they'll, have their therapy session, and maybe they need some more time to just process what came up for them. And they're needing to feel, just kind of like in a space that feels safe, that feels quiet, that feels, relaxing for them. So I'm able to say, go enjoy the massage chairs right across the hall from my office. And they're able to go in there, and then clinicians, myself included, in between sessions, if we're having a stressful day or we're just needing some time to just, kind of shut down and unplug a little bit, we'll go enjoy those. And it's free of charge for all the clinicians here at the office. And it's just another way to just provide, that holistic wellness and provide additional benefits for, being amazing clinicians that they are and all the work that they do.
So for everyone who's listening, right? Because we got like, wait a minute, we have to go visit Joy. But all of us who are listening, for all of you who are listening, including ourselves, when we're talking about this stigma of getting mental health, what you're doing is not only making it accessible, but offering. I love because what you're talking about is like it is not just the one size fits all in regards to, well, we'll do MDR or we'll do EFT or we'll do this. What you're saying is like, no, let me offer you an experience where we're helping you integrate, right? Mind, body, and spirit. It's more than just exactly we're gonna do talk therapy or we're gonna do trauma work. When in reality, a lot of times when we do EMDR for any of you who are offering, and if you have tried it, it is hard when we do EMDR sessions because then we need a lot of the times the brain does not stop processing. So a lot of times we need that little extra. So by having an oil diffuser, by having this room, that what I picture is what Dr. Robert Grant will say, like, oh my God, that room is amazing because we're able to provide sensory input or sensory output to the clients who need it after a session, right?
Mhm.
This is beautiful because you're like,
Brilliant.
you are providing a wellness approach to the services that you provide.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And that's exactly what the vision for Joy Life Counseling was, to provide more of a spa-like atmosphere. I wanted to break the kind of stigma of seeking mental health by making it so where when people come in, they just feel like at peace. They're feeling welcome, they're feeling seen.
Mhm.
I even tell my clients we have a waiting area, but I'm like, if you want before your session, you can go into the wellness room, you can stretch on a mat, you can meditate, you can have some quiet time before you even come into my office. Like
Mhm.
there's tea at the office, there's coffee, there's water, there's snacks for clients. They can just grab what they need. We have LaCroix in the fridge, and we just really try to make it like a really welcoming space and just a space where people are just like, wow, like this is where I feel, seen, I feel cared for, I feel nurtured, like all parts of self, not just mental health, but, mind, body, spirit, just like Liliana was saying, like just tapping into all parts of a person and just helping them to know that, we care about them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, and it must be working because you've expanded from solo practice to a group practice. So you're definitely on to something in addition to the amazing wellness room, but changing the atmosphere of what therapy is going to look like and feel like and experience. Why? I mean, this feels like such a loaded question, but like, why is that important specifically for the BIPOC community?
Well, I think it's important because one, within the BIPOC community, especially within the Black community, seeking mental health, there was such a big stigma, and there still is a big stigma. It's like, you're crazy, something's wrong with you. Oh my gosh, like what happened? You need, to go speak to a therapist, a shrink. And
Mhm.
so for me, I wanted to start to break down that stigma of seeking mental health and make it to where it's okay to reach out for help and support. It's okay to come here and not be, completely broken down either. Like you can come here and just work on different goals that you have for yourself and your life and talk about maybe different struggles when it comes to racism and systemic oppression and things like that, because that all impacts us
Yeah.
in many different ways and impacts your mental health as well. So I feel that, all people need to feel like they can come and seek help if they're needing it. And it doesn't have to be, where they're experiencing like the worst trauma ever. Like we support people that have experienced a lot of trauma, but we also support people who are just wanting to better themselves, and maybe they need a therapist that looks like them, or needs a therapist that does other modalities, right? Outside of the box, because I have clients that come and see me and maybe they're struggling with ADHD, or they're struggling with anxiety, depression, but maybe they don't want to take medication. And so neurofeedback has been an amazing alternative to help with those symptoms that clients are experiencing without having to go the medication route, or maybe they're using medication and it's not fully helping them, and they can tap into biofeedback or neurofeedback and they're able to experience so much more relief, and they're doing amazing, with those different modalities as well.
I love that, right? Because especially you're not saying we're gonna do the traditional, which is you book a session, you come in, you talk about it. We talk about those uncomfortable conversations, which a lot of us were afraid because we didn't get training in regards to how do we broach those conversations, such as racial discrimination. The BIPOC population gets to experience every day. We don't get to take a break and say like, okay, I'm gonna shut it down today. I'm just gonna go here, and then everyone is gonna treat me this way. The reality
Mhm.
for backpack population is that that is a luxury. So, but you provide in groups, so that you are creating community, so that
Mhm.
they get to get a different template. And for all of you who are out there, I did try it because I'm afraid of public speaking. I think it's hilarious that I say that out loud now. Um, but I hate actually public speaking. I'm afraid of it. And Joy, I was talking to Joy, and she was like, "Why don't you come and try neurofeedback?" And then after it, she was like, "Why don't you lie down on the energy mat?" It was such a beautiful experience, that also allow me to think outside the box. As therapists, you are trained, because we all get the same foundation, that talk therapy is the way to go. Can you come and talk about it? Oh, you don't want to talk about this? That's because you're resilient, or you're not resilient, resistant to it. You do not want to talk about this. When in reality, when you say, I'm creating a place, a space where you can come and all parts of you can show up, and I will have those conversations with you that sometimes we're even afraid to bring up, because am I going to have to share this so that it will make sense to you? Or are you having those experiences and you can normalize it for me and validate me on it? Right. And so when you say, like, I work with this population, I have these four amazing women who are helping with this, that's exactly what you're doing, creating a shared experience where your clients do not have to go and explain what it's like.
Mhm. Yes.
That was
Yeah.
I
heavy.
mean, it sounds like, yeah, as soon as you step in, it's like acceptance
Mhm.
and welcoming, which is so different than especially like the general population's idea of mental health, right? Like we're still fighting the stigma that we're all old white crusty dudes who are gonna like ask about your relationship with your mom and have you like lay down on a couch. Like we're so far from that, but like the general pop doesn't know that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's still what's portrayed in movies and TV shows. And that's the fear,
Yeah.
right? So even your entire environment just it sets the tone from the moment that they either look on your website or step foot through that door.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I love what I do here. Like, I love the atmosphere. Like, even my clinicians that work here, one of the clinicians, when she started, she's just like, every time I come in here, I'm just so like thankful to be working here. You've created this beautiful space, and I just feel like this is where I belong, and it just feels warm, it feels welcoming. She's worked at other practices and she's like, I did not feel this
Oh.
anywhere else that I've worked at. And when I come here, it's just something different about the energy, the space, what you've created here. And so just hearing that from a clinician, hearing that from clients, like that fills my cup. That fills my cup because I think about myself and young Joy, like what would have drew me in to seeking a therapist? What would have really like filled me up when I walked into a therapist's office or seeked help? And I was like, wow, like this is, I'm a little bougie too, if you can't tell. Like I like to have a spa atmosphere. I like to go get massages. I like to self-care and to pamper myself. And so I was like, that would be amazing if we can give this to people, that need it the most. If we can provide this for people who need it the most. The yoga classes, like seeing it's mainly women, but we have had men come to our yoga classes as well. But seeing the women in there and just being able to release, to move their body, to feel, one with themselves. Some of these women that do take the yoga classes, they've experienced a lot in
Yeah.
life, and for them to be able to reconnect with their bodies and reconnect with movement. So much of what we go through is held in our body. And so I believe that yoga is a beautiful way to, one, be able to release, but two, be able to reconnect as well.
I
So
love that. And what I'm
absolutely.
hearing is you're reframing therapy as self-care, and I am so here for that. That's amazing. It's
Very
amazing.
demure, very demure.
Yes.
We're not trying to be
Thank
demure. We're
you.
not trying to
Yes.
be
Yes.
oh, to make therapy bougie. Oh gosh,
Yes.
I love that.
Bougie and accessible at the same time. So one thing that we did, we applied for a funding grant through Colorado Access, and we were awarded it this year actually, and a lot of money. I don't know if I want to say the exact amount, but anyways, we were awarded a lot of money through Colorado Access to be able to provide therapy services to
I
Black
love that.
birthing, the Black birthing communities, so Black women.
Yeah.
And so that's where we were able to tap into the Black moms groups. We were able to provide, and I need to look at the numbers, but I know it's over 200, and it might be way more than that, individual and family therapy services free of cost. The
Yeah.
Black moms group free of cost, like
Wow.
the massages, yoga, neurofeedback for the Black mothers that are part of that program. It's free of cost.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
so that's been amazing. We want to reapply and re-get funding for that. We still are going to be able to provide those services probably through May of 2026 is where we're tracking at with the budget.
That's
Nice. Yeah.
incredible.
Right? So the invitation for everyone who's listening, it may not be this demure, but like what can you do in order to I love the question actually that you said, which is what would I need it to go to therapy? Right? And we all have those stories, we all have those backgrounds. So what is it that you needed? Independently of if you provide play therapy, couples therapy, individual therapy, what was it that you needed? And how can you attend to that? There's healing in that, by the way. And
Mhm.
then, right, like how are you going to attend to those clients that can relate to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Joy, I'm curious if we have listeners who are like, yes, I would like to shift practice towards something more like this. I know even for our own group, like we've talked about trying to do like integrating like trauma-informed yoga and like a quiet sensory room where you've done the work. What tips are you willing to share with those that are maybe considering like, okay, I would love to, but like where does one start?
Mhm. Yeah. So my start was really writing down my plan, my business plan, and getting very clear about my mission and my vision for my business and how I wanted it to look before even finding the space,
Mm.
right? And so I knew exactly what I wanted. And then looking into funding, of course, either saving or borrowing or getting people to invest, right, in your vision and your goals. That's big because we need money to be able to do it. And then just working with some really cool people in the community, looking through properties. Oh my gosh, like when I was looking for the space, I had to go to so many different spaces, but I knew already that I wanted it in Aurora, Colorado. That right there, I just felt like this is something that we don't have here in Aurora, Colorado. And I live here. And so I wanted to make sure I had it in the community where I lived, where I wanted to serve clients. And it's also very close to Denver, by the way. It's centrally located, so people can get here really easily right off of the highway. And so that was important. So locating a space. And then once I found the space, being able to delegate, because yeah, I could have made all of these offices into therapist offices, and it probably would have been more profitable, but that's not my vision. My vision was to be able to offer other services, holistic services at Joy Life Counseling, and for it not to just look like a stuffy therapist office. And so I had a vision and I stuck with it. And I didn't get to like incorporate all these things all at once, by the way. It was over time. So I was okay with the business growing over time and the vision coming together over time. We've been in this space for a year and a half now. And so that's when everything kind of came into place. And even the therapist, like I came in this space of, I think it's 8 offices and a break room and a reception area. And it was just me, by the way. It was just me. And I was like, and now I need to hire people. And now I need to, and I was okay with taking that risk and investing in my vision, investing in my business, and it panned off. It's working.
I think that's huge for everyone who's listening. You went to school and got trained on how to be a therapist. What you're describing is the vision that you had while you were like getting trained, right? So this is for all of you who are out there. When we say you have to invest in your business and your vision, this is where you sit down and you have to be able to sit down and visualize what is the fail sense that you want in your office, where you want the location to be, how accessible do you want it because of the population that you're targeting, what will that include on it. So they don't teach us that part in school because they're training you to go work in agency work, clinic work. They're
Yep.
not preparing you to go work and be an owner. That's not the mentality. And we had a whole podcast about money and this already, right? So go listen to that podcast. But what we're talking about today is when you have in mind a vision of, I want to serve this population, I want to include all the parts of the individual while we're talking about um, healing historical trauma, while we're talking about uncomfortable conversations, while we're providing group supports for moms so that they build community. Because we know research has told us, even though I hate to use the word, research has told us that healing happens in community,
Yep.
right? So for all of you who are listening, what we're hearing is you don't have to go get in debt to do it all. Please don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. But you can start adding things, such as
Yep.
it may be where you go and get energy mat, where you go and train in a model that is going to be able to help you when it's not talk therapy. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
are the other things that the population that you're working with might be benefited from? And that's what you're describing today. By the way, you're describing it like, I just want to go to your quiet sensory room and hide there because
Yes.
it
Please
sounds
come.
amazing. And-
Anytime. More than welcome.
but at the same time, you're offering it not only because you're thinking of your client, but now you're taking care of your clinicians,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? You want them to not get to burnout. You are taking care of them and modeling something right now so that they take care of themselves while they're providing services, taking care of others.
Yes.
Beautiful concept.
Yes, absolutely, Joy. I just have to say, you are a disruptor of systemic oppression and trauma. And I don't know if you see that in the lens that I can see that. Like, we are just meeting and being able to hear, like, you're breaking the cycle of therapy being hard and traumatic and um discriminatory. You're breaking the system of employment places, burning clinicians out because you are taking care of them as well. Like, you are a disruptor of systemic generational trauma and oppression. And I am just in awe. I mean, we could talk for days on massage chairs, but really, Joy, what you're doing is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And like kudos. Well done. Well done.
Oh,
Right. Oh my gosh. That's big to hear. Thank you.
please
Thank
take it in. Please take
Yeah.
it in. As we are at the end of our time together, I think that is a
Already over? I had more. No, I'm messing with you.
please come back and talk more because we do want to learn from you. We need to hear, we need to create spaces to talk about what are others doing and how we can go. Because if we stay in the same bubble, the problem in the same bubble is that we don't get to hear and learn from others so that we can also be creative. And that's what you're providing us today. The idea of not to stay in the same bubble. And for that, I agree with Maria. Like, thank you for disrupting. Thank you for being you.
Oh, thank you guys so much. This was amazing.
Aw.
We'll hopefully have you come back,
Yes,
and perhaps even by the time this has dropped, I'll have met you and been able to like come experience your little wellness room.
100%. I would love that. You're more than welcome. And it's a welcoming space for all people. And so we would love for
Okay, like
anyone
it's
that
for all,
wants
but we have to
that.
try it first. Like
Yes.
y'all, like calm down until we try it first, okay?
Yes.
We'll come back, listeners, with a review of Joy Life's Community
Yes.
Counseling
Please
Center Wellness Room.
do. I love it. I love it.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Joy.
you. Thank you, listeners, for listening to this podcast. And if you have any questions about Joy, just know that we're going to include her information on the podcast so that you can reach out to her and ask her questions. Pay her for her consultation so that she can share her wisdom. Okay. Until next time.
Absolutely. Until then, guys, thank you.